Well, good morning. Thank you for coming. The Log Church welcomes you to the 2026 Senior Expo. We're always excited to be able to host it, and this morning we have some really great speakers for you. The first one is Molly Haskins, who is a native Minnesotan. She began her nursing career at the Mayo Clinic and found her passion in home health and hospice. And she's now living in God's country, which we would all agree with, right? And she serves as the manager for nursing for Home Instead, where she is dedicated to helping seniors stay home, independent and supported at home, always focused on creating better what's next. So, Molly, why don't you come up and let's welcome Molly.
Thank you. Hello, thank you. Hello. All right, well, yes, I am Molly, and when I created this PowerPoint, this slide opened with a very rousing verse of "Good golly, Miss Molly," but it doesn't seem to be working, so if anybody wants, no, we don't want me to sing it. So I am from Home Instead, and let's see, nope. Clicking the arrow. I'm sorry, technical difficulty here. Okay, a better what's next. So who here is familiar with Home Instead? Ever heard of Home Instead? Okay, so we have been a part of the community for over 20 years. We provide in-home care for seniors, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about a better what's next, because that's what we're choosing to focus on. So a lot of what we focus on is, those golden years, the later years in life, and having a plan. That has changed, and I want to talk a little bit about ways that things have really gotten better, have changed, and where we're rolling with that. So what I want to do to talk about the golden years is to talk about our favorite golden girls. But before I do that, I want to ask, don't be shy, but who here in the room, is there anyone over 65 in the room? Okay, how about 75? Okay, how about 85? Okay, 95? No 95s. Well, great. So back then, the Golden Girls here that we see on the screen, you see Blanche, Sophia, Dorothy, and Rose. They were portrayed as being kind of in those later years, those golden years. But if we really look at it, they weren't that old. I myself am 53, which is the same age here as Blanche and Dorothy, and I am not in my later years. I am going to keep on going, and that is one of the things that I find so funny about these women is we really all thought that they were kind of at those end stages of their life. And maybe that's what the general assessment was in those days, but these days we're really changing what that looks like. But even then, one of the biggest fears was, are they going to end up in a home? Dorothy would always threaten her mom, Sophia, that she was going to put her back in Shady Pines with her Shady Pines, Ma. That was kind of her response. And honestly, that really hasn't changed. But Dorothy didn't know about Home Instead. So aging really has changed, and I remember the days of landlines, dial-up internet, but nowadays we have amazing technology available to us. Our seniors are using smartphones to FaceTime with their loved ones from far away. We are shopping online. In some places we're having meals delivered online. We are even doctoring online. There's also technology in place that really supports the senior in their home. Those loved ones that live far away can have access to monitor if there's ever an emergency, lifelines and things like that. Seniors are driving longer. They're independent longer. 20 years ago, the general belief was if you couldn't manage at home anymore, the next step was a facility. That was just the assumption. But today, there's a strong desire to age in place, and I love that phrase, age in place, stay home. And people are staying home into their 90s. People are even choosing to stay at home through end of life. And that is what Home Instead is so proud to be a part of. People are living longer. We're managing multiple medical conditions. And with that complexity comes the fear of, is that something we can manage at home? 20 years ago, the answer was probably no. Home health care facilities or home health care companies really weren't available. It wasn't an option. But we are changing that. Aging in place wasn't strongly supported or even discussed. But today, home instead is just a call away. So what does this mean? Age 75 isn't the end of independence anymore, and the people that are in this group and part of this community can speak for that, can vouch for that. It's not the end of life. It's not when you're slowing down and giving things up. It's not the later years. But here's what's also true. Even though we're living longer and staying active longer, these years come with a little extra effort, a little extra support, the right kind of support. So these years are often just the beginning of needing that right kind of support. It's not about doing everything on your own anymore. It's not even about admitting you need help before you feel ready. It's about having a plan in place so that you can keep doing the things you love. Because a little help doesn't actually take independence away, it protects it. Switchy here. So, the people who do this best are the people who aren't the ones who wait until something happens. It is so important to have that plan, to speak to your spouse, your family, your siblings, your loved ones, your parents, your kids, your community, your pastor. Let's make the plan now while things are going well, because you don't want the first time you discuss a plan to be in the emergency room. So make the plan before you need the plan. And that is one of the most important things that I have to say, is to really look at what your desires are for that aging in place and get that plan made and speak about that plan. So with that, we're going to play a little game here, because we need to know when we need that additional support. What is the time of our life where we are experiencing normal parts of aging, or maybe something that's worth noting? And so for this, I want you to think spouse, loved ones, neighbors, friends, community, cousins, church members. It's just kind of have that in the back of your mind, because these are things that you can go out and share. And if you notice these things in somebody, it's probable that they need a little bit of that extra support. So we're going to start with occasionally forgetting a name and then remembering it later. I think we all know that that is a normal part of aging. I would also say that calling all 4 of your children every name in the book before you get to theirs is also a normal part of aging, because that's what I do. But forgetting familiar names or getting confused about close family members, that's worth noting. Most big life changes don't start with a big moment. They start with signs that we sometimes ignore. So walking into a room and forgetting why you did, normal. I did that this morning. But getting lost in a familiar place or forgetting how to get home, worth noting. Small ripples can turn into big waves if we ignore them. Did I go backwards? I'm sorry. There you go. Getting lost in a familiar place or forgetting how to get home. Didn't I say technology was great at the beginning of this? Okay. Needing a reminder or pill organizer because you can't remember if you took your pills today. That's normal. In fact, pill organizers are perfect just for that reason. But frequently missing doses, doubling up your doses, or confusion about what you're taking or why you're taking it is likely worth noting, because waiting for a medication error or a fall or a health scare means that someone else is probably going to end up making those decisions for you. Next one is moving a little slower or being cautious on the stairs. Normal and encouraged. Be careful on the stairs, right? But holding on to furniture to walk or having recent falls. There you go. Holding on to furniture or furniture to walk. So to get from place to place, you're kind of jumping from one piece of furniture to the next. I can't tell you how many times we have clients that say, no, I didn't fall, I just tipped or slipped, or the little falls. That is probably worth noting, because small changes are your chance to act early. All right, what's the next one here? Eating simpler meals or smaller portions. That's normal. The caloric demands that the senior body has does decrease as we age. But skipping meals, realizing there's spoiled food in the fridge, or unexpected, unexplained weight loss is worth noting. The difference isn't ever if it happens, it's often and whether it's how often and whether it starts affecting your life. Letting the dishes, laundry, and vacuuming slide occasionally. Thank goodness this is normal, because we're not perfect, but ongoing clutter, unpaid bills, tripping hazards, difficulty managing tasks. You've got rugs on the floor that you may slip on, or clutter from things that have gotten placed on the floor, laundry on the floor, things like that. It's important to detect those patterns early. Enjoying more quiet time. Absolutely normal, and I encourage it. It's a wonderful thing. But withdrawing from friends, ignoring calls, and losing interest in your once favorite activities, absolutely worth noting. Aging is normal, but struggling doesn't have to be. So together, none of these things individually seem like they may be a big deal on their own. But together, they really are the early warning signs that it might be time for a helping hand. Whether that's for you, a loved one, a neighbor, it's time to get somebody involved. So I'm going to talk about my favorite thing, and that's Home Instead. How can Home Instead help support this aging in place? Well, one of the things we do is help with meals. We can be there to assure that there's a healthy meal. We can help with meal prepping. So if we come during the morning, we can make a meal that can be eaten again later in the day. We can help with light housekeeping. Everybody needs a little bit of help in that area from time to time, and that's something that we can come in and do, so you don't have to worry about that. We can help with companionship. Sometimes we just come in, we play cribbage, we play cards, we reminisce. It's one of my favorite things, is just to sit and talk. We can assist with transportation. We can take you grocery shopping, to a doctor's appointment. We take our clients to get haircuts. We take them to their favorite fishing hole. We take them to church. We can even get more involved and assist with things like bathing, showering, and personal cares. Overnight care, which is actually a really big one. If you are a loved one who's caring for someone who has dementia or some other health issue that makes where you're losing sleep yourself overnights, that's a very, very difficult position to be in. So Home Instead can come in and be the caregiver overnight, so you can get some of that sleep that is so important. Another piece of that is respite care during the day. We can come in, so maybe you need a nap, maybe you need to run to the store, maybe you need to do something self-care for you. Home Instead can help with that as well. We can also, now, because we have a comprehensive license, we can come in and assist with nursing things like setting up medications. We can even give medications while on shift. And another thing we do, families are getting more and more involved with hospice earlier and earlier, which is an amazing thing. And we collaborate with the hospices in the area to see how our care pros can work together with them to provide a big picture of care for our families. We also provide nursing visits. That's me. Whether it's health monitoring, or whether there's a health issue or a wound change, or no matter what the need is, we do also do just specific nurse visits. And again, all of these things can be determined with a free consultation. And whatever you're looking for, The great thing about Home Instead is we're a yes company. We want to help somebody. We want to keep seniors in their homes. We believe about it so passionately that we've been doing it in this area for over 20 years. And no matter what the needs are, we're going to try and figure out a way to, yes, we're going to make those needs happen. We've had some very specific and wonderful things that we've been able to do with our clients. So we're very proud of that. And the earlier you bring in support, the more choices you have, and the longer you can stay right where you want to be. All right. And honestly, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Sometimes a few days a week can make all the difference, because comfort, security, and connection are really the things that we want. I love this event for the community connection that it provides. And that's what this is all about, is looking out for one another in the community. Home Instead can help. I would be remiss if I didn't share that we have amazing care pros. Our caregivers are so excellent. And this is my plug if you know anybody or you yourself would ever want to be a caregiver. It is truly, truly an amazing job. Used to support you all in the comfort of your home. A little help now is a lot more independence later. And now I wonder, does anyone have any questions? No questions? No one wants to try and stump me? As long as it's not math, I might be able to answer it. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. If you do have any questions, oh yes, a question, yay. Yes? Yes, we do work with long-term care insurance. In fact, we work quite closely with the big companies in the area. So our care consultant, Angie, can tell you all about that. But yes, we have quite a few clients who have that long-term care insurance. And we just work with the insurance company. We send them our care logs and the things that they need to fill those requirements on their end. Yeah. Thank you. And if you do have any other questions or want to sign up for a really cute prize, stop by our booth and get signed up. And if you have any questions, I'll be there all day. So thank you.